You're watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. All of our channels and networks on Mike Morales. Here in the heartbeat of the San Gabriel Valley, that guy out there is...
Rick Levy, down at the end of the San Pasqual Valley.
So Rick and I have been blessed with a tequila from Amatitan, which you know is our neighborhood. It's Mr. Rogers' favorite neighborhood. And this afternoon, we are be tasting and dissecting Juan de Leon Blanco Rosa, or Rosa Blanco. How's it listed? Rosa Blanco. Now, yes, it has a very distinct pink shade to it. That is not an additive, ladies and gentlemen. That is a wine barrel. And that's why the agave is pink too. See, it comes from those little pink agaves that you find in Amatitan. I'm sorry. This tequila is from Amatitan, made out of a very small distillery. I just broke the seal on this one. I was telling Rick off camera, this is now, the Blanco Rosa is now a solid category for us this year on our Brands of Promise. We have another 2 brands. One that we've tasted already that nobody has seen the video yet, which is Adam Levine's brand new tequila, Cali Rosa, and we have another one we have yet to taste. I've got to line that one up with Matt, but it's also aged in wine barrels. And then there's Juan de Leon.
Juan de Leon.
So there's competition in that category, boys and girls. It's becoming a thing. So I am going to pour mine in a Stasso Jarrito.
It's definitely a Blanco.
Yeah, it's
a nice aroma off the top of the bottle. I'm using my Stasso Jarrito as well.
I literally, just before I came on with Rick, I had just gotten done doing another 5 tastings of mezcals and raicillas with
Mike's half in the bag.
No. No, what happens is all my jarritos are on this side of the room, covered, full of mezcal and raicilla, and I had to pull my extras. That you might even notice that these are the original Stassos with the heavier base, which a lot of guys really like.
Yeah, those prototypes are really nice.
And again, it's got a very.
Sorry, I'm running away.
That's okay. We're not going to miss you.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, I know. You can see this is a very, very light tint. Oh, you can see it even better on Rick's camera. Mine's still a little too bright, but
I've got that Aerosmith song "Pink" stuck in my head.
Pink. I have pink stuck in my head. Never mind.
Oh, there you go.
Let's get this party started, shall we? Again, beautiful legs and tears, very much behaving like the Blanco.
Yeah.
Now, Rick, I didn't get the green just off the top of the nose, off the top of the cork and bottle. You know, that doesn't count for a lot of us, but I didn't get that green that we got from the Blanco. I actually got a deeper, I almost got like a wood or a char or a toast of some sort, like a smoke. Am I wrong? Because that was just, I haven't sniffed this yet, so I'm not even sure.
There's definitely something else going on there from the Blanco that we just had, but
okay.
You know, something is changing the aroma a bit, but I'm still picking up on those notes.
Yes, yeah, but there's another layer that's in there, and
right.
I want to say it's even more minerality than there was in the Blanco, but that I could be wrong with that
now,
too.
My understanding is that these barrels are uncharred. So these are French oak wine barrels from Napa Valley used for Cabernet Sauvignon, and they have not been charred.
So are they exclusively Cabernet?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because that means a lot, because Cali Rosa is using a variety of wine barrels, and so is the other one that we're going to taste probably later on next week. So I want to make sure that it's very much at this point. It's very much like mezcal. I'm going to have to take into consideration the region, the barrel, all that, in order to make sure that they are competing with each other, because they're going to be different. Like it's like wine grapes. Cabernet is a different, blend than a Merlot grape than and you can't lump
Right.
them all together and say, oh, you're pink.
It's like trying to compare oil paintings when one is abstract expressionism and the other is realism.
Thank you. For those of you who are art history majors, which I am not, I like the fruitiness on this one, though. There's more fruit that I'm getting on this one than I did on the Blanco. There's
like a wine fruitiness, or
like
stone fruit, or what are you getting?
No, more like a grape fruits, not grapefruit, but grape.
Right. Well, that would make sense in an uncharted cab barrel. So yeah, I think what we're picking up on is what's obviously the Cabernet Sauvignon.
It's lovely. I like this nose better than I do the Blanco. It's got a nice layer that you want to linger over that I wasn't getting on that Blanco.
The Blanco had great structure, but we did find that the nose wasn't complex. The aspects that were there were beautiful, but it wasn't complex.
Right. Yeah. And most of the complexity was actually happening on the intake and the palate. That's where all the action was for me.
So now, since this has been in a barrel for a month, we would actually call this a Joven, right? Oh no, Suave. Joven is when you mix.
The only way that you can call it a Suave would be if it was in an oak, in a whiskey barrel or bourbon barrel, because that was the original. Right. That was the original Suave. This one, I would have to give it. It is a thing now. The Rosa is.
So we just.
It's kind of like a Cristalino.
Blanco Rosa.
Yeah, it's not. It's like a Cristalino. It's not an official expression, but it's an expression as far as the market is concerned.
Right.
So since we're a direct-to-consumer thing here, I say we give it its own category and call it that, and that's why I say I'm going to have to break this down, because even within the Rosa Blanco category, we're going to have different. It's going to be like mezcal. You have a different region, different wine barrel, and then even a different expression, because I hearken back to a Dulce Vida 5-year XA that's finished in Napa Valley wine barrels, and that's at barrel strength. So that one's so chopped up in its own separate category that there's no telling where this is going to be. So it's important for us to break these kind of qualities down to make sure that, hey, it's pink, you're going to like it. No, it's not true.
It's the pink one.
It's the pink one. Let's dive in. Let's see what we got.
Down the hatch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think the sweetness of the wine has a big impact on this Blanco. It's not super sweet. It's just that it's an additional accent that makes it more complex.
I love the dryness. I love the. I like this better than the Blanco. I hate to say it, because I'm a big Amatitan Blanco lover.
Right.
Rick will testify to that. But this one really delivers, man.
Mm-hmm.
The added sweetness really rounds out the edges of what we were tasting in the Blanco. I can see where the reason we were waiting for these lines for both of us, I have had mine for a while, hand delivered, and Rick has been waiting for like almost a month, is that the Rosa was behind schedule, because apparently it's a big winner.
Yeah.
It's available.
I think that the tannins, the dryness, it is accentuating the pepper, and the barrel is adding to the spice a little bit.
Mhm.
And so that back palate, pepper and spice is incredible, and it's even warmer in the finish.
Yes. Now they're saying this is uncharred and
Right.
uncharred, untoasted. Um, so I'm not getting any wood, any sweet wood notes. Again, I have two
Yeah.
bars to this. One is the Rosa from Asombroso, which was the first one that was actually had ever done it, and I love that. I could drink that all day long. Um, this is my second one of this version. I think Mejor used to make one years and years ago, but I don't think that they used wine barrels. That was a whole other process that Mejor used to make pink tequila. It was like a flower or something that they were using to dye that would, that was the flower would change it to the color pink. They weren't when it first came on the market. Nobody was resting anything in a wine barrel. It was all whiskey and bourbon. And then Casanova decided to go with the French oak direction, and that opened up everybody else kind of followed suit. Um, so I'm not getting French wood notes on the nose. This is all plant and then the grape.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if they had blended highlands and lowlands together. Almost. Except for the dryness on the back end of the palate. And that's the wine coming through, like you said.
Right. That additional warmth on the finish is really enjoyable.
Mm.
Mm.
That's
And
lovely.
the accentuated pepper. Yeah.
Wow. I think there's even a touch of more minerality in it than we got in the Blanco. Because, we're used to having the Matitan, with the groundwater, the minerality that we get from the soil
Right.
and the water.
I wonder if it has to do, now on the Blanco, we saw that they were using some kind of cold filtering process
Yes.
on the Blanco.
Right.
And maybe they're not using that with the barrel aged versions.
Could be. I mean, why would you want to filter it if you're not going to bottle it right afterwards? Let the barrel do the work for you, right?
Yeah.
And round out the edges. So maybe you're right. We won't know. We know very little about Juan de Leon. Okay, we know he's a real person. In fact, for those of you who are on Instagram,
the next most interesting man in the world.
He's the next most interesting man in tequila. Oh my God, really? I had his stuff all set up, and there we go. Instagram in its algorithm. This is Mr. Juan de Leon. He's a real guy. All right, you can follow him. Juan de Leon. It's under Tequila Juan de Leon. He's quite a character. World traveler, margarita drinker, and I think he's big fan of our magazine.
So we know he has good taste.
We know he has good taste. Look at that. He's always reading. My understanding is he's actually researching perhaps a Juan de Leon mezcal. I can't wait. If you follow him on his Instagram, he's pretty transparent. He's been to Oaxaca. He and his wife. They seem like a very nice couple. They're out of San Diego, bro. So you might want to be able to knock on their door and go, hey, hi. Look, he's a skateboarder. See, check him out.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, he's quite a character, and other than that, we don't know. We know first it comes from Distillery 1500, very small distillery, same distillery as Kostiv that comes out of there that you and I had. What, late last year? I think it was the beginning of 2020.
Yeah, I think we actually launched the videos at the beginning of this year, but we recorded it like last October.
Yeah,
it was Kostiv from the same distillery.
We've been hoarding it. There's maybe like 6 brands that come out of that distillery. It sounds like it's a co-op of some sort. My understanding is that they're going to hopefully qualify as a non-additive distillery. I'm not sure what the ETA is on that. But they got some big plans for Juan de Leon, and obviously, from what I can tell, it seems to be a pretty well-funded brand. If you got 5 expressions, that's not a cheap thing to do. And Rick wanted to nominate them as a brand of promise in their packaging as well. Because take a look at this packaging. Check that out. I like
check out that layer of glass on the bottom.
Yeah, this is a it's got great shoulders on this. It's very substantial. Last time I felt a bottle like this was it was bent a little bit, and it was Fina Estampa used to have a bottle similar, but it was rounded. It felt like you could put that bottle in your back pocket, like a flask.
Oh, like a hip flask.
A flask feel to it. This one is much more, standing in your face, but it's pink, and you know what? I like it a lot.
It's good.
I like this one better than the Blanco. I didn't think I'd ever say that about a tequila from a Matitan, but there you have it. That Rosa does it for me. If I had to choose, I would pick the Rosa. So guys, don't be afraid of the pink. Pink is cool. It's all right.
Yeah. If you want to feel good about pink, go listen to that Aerosmith song.
Yeah. Well, or go listen to Pink. Because she makes me feel good. Anyway, what's our price point on this? Do we know what they broke?
Yeah. So it looks like their MSRP on this is going to be $89.99.
Híjole. Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Number one, very small batch, very small distillery. Can it compete in that category? It's not a value category, so I won't say that. But I will say that I think it stands up to any tequilas that are out there in that price category. Is that price going to stay? I don't know. There's a lot of extenuating circumstances that determine pricing.
Yeah, it's actually, it's not available anywhere yet. So who's to say what the actual pricing is going to be when it hits the market?
Yeah. I mean, you're, as usual, Tequila Aficionado is at the forefront of a lot of startup brands, a lot of brands that are going to make a splash, a lot of brands of promise, and this is definitely one of them. Okay,
right.
So I'm going to put that under that Blanco Rosa Blanco category. I will break it down even further once I get a chance to be by myself and figure out where this is all going to go, because it's going to drive me nuts. But again, a whole different expression from what I had with Cali Rosa. Whole different animal, whole different. And that one even comes in a wine glass. You should see this thing. It's literally a wine glass. The label looks like a wine label, and it's got that dip in the base, so you can hold it with your thumb. Yeah, and so you pour it like this, or you can grab it by the neck and pour it that way. If you didn't know any better, you think Jason and I were making jokes. We said, "Hey, Han, bring home some wine." Okay, well, I thought this was wine, and you bring home the tequila, which it's exquisite. So this one, I'm gonna break it down. We're gonna find out what category it's in, but I love it. I honestly love it better than the Blanco. But that's just me. If you folks have had this before, if you're in the San Diego County area, if you're in North County, Fallbrook, I don't know, wherever you guys get your tequila, if you've had this before, leave us a comment down below in the comments. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're listening to us on the podcast, download your podcast anywhere where you get that, like Spotify or iTunes. But that's our take on Juan de Leon Rosa Blanco. Stick with us. We've got the rest of the line coming up. I'm Mike Morales, again, in the heartbeat of the San Gabriel Valley. That guy out there is
Rick Levy, down in the San Pasqual Valley.
Where are you again?
Escondido.
Escondido. Never mind. I know how you call it. Yeah.
Hey, that's my town.
Okay. But that's our take. Don't forget to subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. Give us a like. That helps on the algorithm. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.